it's the Hottest Street Boys.
Like and subscribe. Jamie, today's episode is brought to you by Community Bank.
Community Bank.
Man,
they're out there in the community actually doing it. I saw recently that our friends at Community Bank were seriously out there giving back to their community. Kudos to everybody over there at Community Bank. Love those guys.
and they're banking on the fact that you'll use their CB2Go app.
It's an app for your phone.
You can keep track of all your transactions, your statements. It's pretty hip. And remember, it's CB2Go, the number 2, not the letter.
Yeah, they put the number in there. CB to go.
Been around over 100 years. Shout out to Jeff, Eric Rogers, our homie, tennis player. How often has Eric beat you in tennis? Be honest. What's your record with Eric?
I don't know. It's not often. You know, I'm just, you know, I don't.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I'll see. You know.
You hear that, Eric?
You know.
Okay.
He's beaten me before, but like, you know, it's sometimes. You know.
Right. But y'all are still friends.
Oh yeah. You're always friends with your tennis friends.
Yeah. I know Jeff from Versus. Like he's jacked, bro.
Yeah.
That dude doesn't play.
Yeah. I mean,
We did play college baseball at State, which is pretty baller.
that is awesome. Athletics.
If you have that kind of competitive edge to play college ball, imagine what they can do for your finances. So holler at Community Bank today. Click the link in the description below or the link in our bio on Instagram and get started and find out more. You just click that link, get that money right. We got a big episode today, Jamie.
Huge episode.
Yeah, when our guest gets here, because she's totally not here yet with a tiny dog.
Yeah. That's why I'm sitting over here.
Yeah, it's totally normal. Everyone be cool about it. Nothing.
First dog guest on the show.
First canine guest, and that's actually the response I get from most people when I show them any of my videos is just asleep. So that's good, Teddy. Good to know some things will never change.
He worked really hard today.
He worked really hard, yeah. So you're not on the show yet. So I'm not trying to be a jerk.
Can we bring her in? Can we bring in our guest?
So
I'm telling you why he's sleeping.
Oh, I got you. So after this, guest who's totally not here yet, Chae Carter of Carter's Jewelry.
Yeah. Ooh, we got a nice little guest on the show. It might be someone you know. Try a little harder. The guest tonight is Chae Carter. We're in the order, and our guest tonight is Chae Carter. Yeah. Let's get to the show. Let's bring the beat back one more time. She's tired of putting up with tomfoolery. This girl spends her day selling jewelry, Carter's Jewelry, and she's tired of putting up with massive tomfoolery. It's time to get to the show. We gonna fade out the show.
Wow, thanks, Jamie.
Yes, that was an intro song.
It was beautiful.
Thank you.
Where's your key? So your keyboard stuff's over there.
Yes, that's correct. My stuff's over there. I performed over there, and then I came sat down over here.
Man, dude, I like how we keep changing the everything.
Yeah, here we are. We're at the Ardor.
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 And you look like you're in an enchanted forest right now.
Am I here now?
Is this background? Cool.
But yeah, we're here with. Oh my God. We'll get to you.
No, am I supposed to not be here?
She hasn't been introduced yet.
Like,
Yeah.
am I still not here?
No, I think you can be here.
I'm just trying to be quiet.
Chae Carter's here.
I'm like, can I?
Yeah, we have Chae
I
Carter.
don't want to laugh.
Chae Carter of Carter's Jewelry. Yeah, you have a new theme song you can use. True or false? The jewelry business is full of tomfoolery.
False.
False. That's it. You don't want to elaborate at all. Is it a very serious industry?
Oh, kind of. We make it fun, but it's pretty serious for the most part.
So you have Carter's Jewelry in Petal. You're off Evelyn Gandy. Tell me, is that the only location Carter's Jewelry has ever been at? Give me the story, because you come from a storied business family.
We started in the 80s in the Cloverleaf Mall in a kiosk. My mom sold chains and little gold teeth. And then she hustled for a while and got a side spot in Cloverleaf, like a little corner jewelry store. And then she decided to move to Petal and had a location on 98 in front of Sam's. And they had like pop-ups in Jackson and Gulfport. But then she decided to just end up with the Petal location, I guess like 20 years ago. And then we've moved around, and now we're at this spot for the last 5 years beside Magnolia.
And you just expanded too.
Yeah, we doubled the size, so we have a diamond suite. It's beautiful.
That's cool.
Trying not to look at you.
Yeah, don't look at me, please.
You can't. It's okay if you look at him. For those watching at home, it's because of the mic. But yeah, you doubled the size. You have the diamond suite or the bridal
The
suite.
huge service department. So there's 4 jewelers now. A big office, because we have our own in-house marketing. And so big office, service department, and then the beautiful diamond suite, which is like engagement rings, eternity bands, loose diamonds, custom appointments, a light up wet bar, and then like the regular showroom.
All right. So then you expanded. What is a day in the life, I guess, of Chae Carter at Carter's Jewelry? Because I want to get to like your team, the jewelers in the fishbowl, all that stuff.
Yeah, they hate the fishbowl.
They don't like people being able to see them. Or we can just let's just get into it. Let's air.
When we expanded, I thought it would be cool to be able to see what like is going on behind the scenes. So I was going to cut a small hole out to the new service department, but the contractors got the sizes wrong. So it's a giant hole right over Blake's desk, sort of like fishbowl-ish. So customers just walk up and stare at her while she's working. And jewelers are usually introverted and like to be left alone. So they hate it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, Blake's like a big deal. We've actually had her work on the show as kind of like a little segment commercial type thing where she builds things and makes jewelry and stuff.
Yeah,
and
she's really
she
great.
seems not shy at all.
No, she's not. She just hates people staring at her. They're warming up to it. Because the biggest compliment we get is people come in, they're like, "Oh, how cool!" I'm like, "I know."
It's kind of like an open kitchen concept where you can see the people preparing food. It's kind of that's cool.
Did not invent
Kind of
this
like,
idea.
how's the jewelry made kind of deal. That's cool.
That's what I was thinking. It's like when you watch people toss the pizza dough.
Yeah.
It's like always really cool. So, yeah, nice plug. Coffee mugs available at HardyStreetBoys.com. What do you have going on? It's Christmas time. This is a pretty chill time, right? In retail.
Yeah, so chill. It's pretty crazy. So we have a lot of people who shop online or through email or text message or over the phone. So that's going on all day long from like 8 in the morning till 8 at night. And then you have people walking in the store. So it's pretty wild. So I guess we're just selling all day, and then everybody wants everything custom or a different color. So you have the jewelers working all through the night. And I don't know what a day in my life looks like. Can you remind me?
No, I mean, just be honest. Like, I know that...
lots of social media posting and videos and ads and emails and TikToks and Instagram reels.
Well, you're really aggressive with marketing and have like been an early adopter of like social media marketing, digital marketing, and reaching people directly where they are. How'd you get into something like that? Because I think it's...
I got my marketing degree at Southern.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I guess when I started like 15 years ago, my mom already had a great reputation and tons of customers. And so I just wanted to make it more fun. So I created a Facebook page like 14 years ago or something. And then, which was like not a thing, a business page. And then just started posting pictures like before and afters or like, look what we just made. And then it obviously took off from there.
Okay, so what was it like to work with your mom? Because
Awful.
Okay, wow. I like how you had to think about it. Like I've I kind of know the dynamic of working with a parent and doing something very similar. But you, unlike me in my case, you have really like stepped up and expanded and kind of taken the baton really well. And so I envy you in that way. Like, how did you navigate working with a close family member, but then also making the business successful and then also like facilitating its growth? Because that's like not easy at all.
It was hard to work together because I was like 21, so I was just very like, sassy and ungrateful. So at the time, I just didn't appreciate what all she'd already done and like what all she knew. She's a gemologist, so she's just amazing. Like, she's an amazing jeweler, but I didn't appreciate any of that. Obviously, it's like, I can do it on my own. I don't need your help. And like, then a few years in, I was like, okay, you were right about everything. And that was awful. So, I learned the hard way.
Right.
But she had already retired. So now I'm very appreciative of everything she did. Like, I started a boutique at one point and it was like really difficult. And so that was when I learned the whole like taking over an established business is totally different than starting your own thing. It's like I had it way easier than I realized. So I sold the boutique and was like, ugh, like I'll just focus on this. But then I was like much more grateful and thankful for the foundation she laid because I just took it for granted. I had never done business without it.
I'm sure there are many, but what's the best lesson she taught you?
The best lesson she taught me was like, so when she did it for 30 years and when she was done, she was like, I'm out. So she just cut her phone off. So I had to just figure it out. So learning the hard way and doing everything wrong and then having to just like figure it out, like having no one to ask. And Google was not that popular that long ago. So learning like in action. I'm not afraid of anything. I'm just like, I'll figure it out.
How important is self-reliance, not just in business, but just being a person?
Yeah, it's so important. Now, whenever I'm training new salespeople or team members at all, like that are in their early 20s, they'll come and ask me like 3,000 questions before trying to use their own brain or Googling it or trying. So it's something that I like adopted from her teaching me that. They come in and I'm like, I teach them a little bit and then I'm like, have you thought about the answer? Like, have you tried? Have you Googled it? Okay, so go do that. And then I make them go figure it out and then they come back. But there's a lot of people that'll just quit. They're like, I don't want to do that. You should just tell me. I'm like.
But like that kind of self-reliance, is that something that you got from your family? I feel like that's an important trait to have that's kind of underrated these days.
I feel like both sides of my family are entrepreneurs, like all the way up. So yeah, everyone's pretty independent, like savage, like works hard, plays harder, so definitely got that from my family.
Well, so I asked this too because I kind of want to find out what it's like to be a business owner where it's not just yourself. You are looking after employees, but when you have something that's like successful, that you're kind of not necessarily starting but growing, what's it like to be in that position, and does it matter being a female business owner?
It can be stressful because I think there's 15 of us now, so it's a lot of pressure to be like the one driving this ship. If I go the wrong way, it affects a lot of families and people. Plus being in business for 2 generations, you're like a staple in Petal. Like, we're Petal's jewelry store. And we get a lot of Hattiesburg customers and people driving in. So there's a lot of pressure. So I try not to like think too like into the how much pressure it is, But I don't know. I feel like I have a really good team. So we kind of spread it out and all work together. I do like the open book thing where we all communicate about everything, like, our expenses and rent, like all that kind of stuff they know. And I clue them in on big decisions like the expansion. We decided to do it together instead of moving towards a freestanding store. The service department, we collaborate, like what equipment we're going to invest in. And like next year we have a lot of plans to like further everyone's education. So we're going to make certain cuts in marketing. So we kind of move together. I don't just like tell them what we're going to do.
Female business owner, you keep dodging this, right? I want to know what it's like because we had Gracie Nichols on the show. Also jewelry, a different vintage, like a different lane, but still it was really cool to speak to her about what it's like to do your own thing. You're still doing your own thing. You've made it your own. So do you feel like there's an advantage or disadvantage, or what have you run into being a female business owner?
I feel like it's harder to answer because I've been doing it for so long now. I had to like think back to when I first started. It was pretty difficult because no one takes you serious. Like I had to work harder, be louder, and I like would not take no for an answer. Like negotiating with vendors because the jewelry industry is like predominantly male. So I would just go and I would try to buy a line and they would just ignore me. And then if anybody I would get their attention. They were like, just not taking me serious. And it would just be like an act of Congress to get anyone to just like listen. So now that we're doing well and like we're pretty respected in our industry, like published nationally, like we speak on panels and things like that, people know who we are before we get there. So I don't, it's hard to remember what it was like in the beginning, but it is obviously harder to be a woman, to be taken serious most of the time. And you do feel more pressure to be successful because there's more women out there you want to inspire to like get out and try and just like hustle. And, does that answer it?
Yeah, that's a great answer.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. That kind of explains Chae a little more because when you have to kind of fight tooth and nail, now when things are like going really well, hopefully people see it and then understand you as a person a little bit better instead of the business owner. Because like you in work mode versus not is totally different.
Totally different.
Yeah. And then, but also I feel like, especially for younger people watching, you have to realize that it's not going to be easy no matter what situation.
It's going to be really, really difficult.
Yeah.
A lot for a long time
to make anything work and be successful.
But you get there. I mean, there's a lot of sacrifice. Like in the beginning, I remember working like 60, 70 hours, and I was in school trying to finish at Southern, taking night classes, and I think we had 3 employees, including me and Tim the jeweler, who's been there since I was 2.
Shout out Tim.
I mean, like he counts, but he doesn't. Like, where's he gonna go? Like.
Oh man, that's mean.
No, he's the best. He's like the best wingman ever. He goes to different events with me. He like comes and helps me with customers. I mean, he's the best. Obviously, everyone loves Tim. There's no one that doesn't love him. He drives from Bay Springs every day for the last 31 years.
Wow. I have driven to Bay Springs. It's not a fun drive at all.
I drove there once and was like, never again.
Yeah. Every day? I didn't realize that.
Every day.
I knew he was from Bay Springs. I didn't know he was still living there.
Yeah, he's a Sims. If anyone's from Bay Springs, like the Sims, there's like 1 million of them and you never leave. It's like a whole thing. They'll know if they're watching.
So I want to get into your team, but before we get into your team, we talk about, okay, what does it take to make something or make something successful? But like, what's the hardest thing about being successful? Because that's another thing that I feel like people don't really speak about. Like in your position, business doing well, right? Making moves, expanding. What's the hardest thing about keeping it, right? Or staying at the top?
I think that, I don't think I'm at the top or anything. I'm grateful for everything and all the progress that I've made, but I feel like I'm like that far. So but I think the hard part is realizing that the problems are always going to be there. They're just going to keep changing. So like in the beginning, it was hard to get foot traffic up. Like I remember our August and September sales were so low. Should I like wait till he's done?
I mean, this is my thing with trains.
My water.
Send a text message.
Just gonna get my.
Why? Do you need your water?
Yeah.
I'll grab it.
Well, I'm hot now.
And bothered? You were saying that your August and September sales were down?
Yeah, so in the jewelry industry, historically, your summer months were slow, but August and September were like murder. Like you would have to lay off your staff. That's why it was hard to find good like year-round salespeople because you had to cut people's hours, and who can live like that? So like 7 years ago, I did the football promotion with Southern because I was like determined to figure out how to keep it busy all year round. It was always just seasonal, like Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Christmas. and it was like driving me crazy. Like I wanted it to be all the time. So I did the football promotion, and then we grew our sales in 1 year from the football promotion by like 400% in just August, and then again in September, and then it grew like 400% the next year, and like it just kept growing. Like it was, so we were able to finally like hire team members and like keep them all year round.
Yeah. And that was when you made ESPN, where you were saying you're going to give away all the jewelry in the store if Southern Miss went undefeated. Is that, or that?
No, they just had to beat Mississippi State in the first game.
Oh, okay.
Which, I mean, if you watched the game, they were doing great until halfway through the second quarter. So it could have happened.
Yeah.
So,
but you're freaked out that first quarter?
No, I got insurance. You get insurance, like the hole-in-one thing, you know?
Yeah.
And so we did it each year, and like they almost did it the like year before COVID. So we stopped doing it during COVID, but we're thinking about bringing it back.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But anyway, so the game changes. Like then it was I couldn't, get sales up, and then it was, navigating taxes, and that took forever in the beginning. Sales tax, payroll tax, use tax. I was like, what are all these taxes? And so then I finally got that figured out. So now I don't get to sell as often or deal with clients. I feel like I'm become more of like a people manager. So that's like completely new, and I want to figure out how to communicate effectively and like, make sure I have the right culture and morale and all this. So that was never any of my issues. It was this. And then trying to navigate inventory and buying. Now I'm training someone for that. So there's always going to be problems in business when you're owning your own business. They just change. But it's just problems that are solvable. You just have to keep working at it.
And problems you want to have, because that's the problems of being successful. All right, your team. I want to go through. I'm going to give you a name of one of your team members.
Do you know them all?
And I'm not doing all of them. We don't have time.
Well, that's not nice. Who
Do
are
you
you
have to do all of them?
I'm going to feel bad if we leave somebody out.
All right, so we're not going to do that segment. So that was a segment we're not going to do.
Maybe each department, one person from each department?
So we want to shout out some of your team. We can't shout out everyone. It's not her choice, so don't freak out. It's because I'm a dictator of podcasts, okay? So blame me. I feed off of your hatred, okay? So first of all, Lex.
Lex is our bridal consultant. So she is basically in charge of the bridal department. The Diamond Suite is her domain. And she is, if you make an appointment online, you go see her. She's fabulous. She knows all the pieces. We design our own bridal line. And so most people don't know that if you come to Carter's and you're looking at engagement rings, only someone who's been there for a certain amount of time and has gone through all the certification can help you. And currently, Lex is the only one.
Nice.
Besides me.
Yeah, and she just had a record month, right?
She did.
I was going to ask about that. I can only imagine.
Record year.
Record year.
I was going to say, I can only imagine that this time of year is probably pretty crazy in the jewelry business, but especially with people buying engagement rings. Christmas is like a interesting time to pop the question. I was just, is that, y'all, I can only imagine y'all are just killing it right now. Probably pretty darn busy.
Killing it. Yeah, she's doing great. She hit her whole goal for the whole year about a week ago. And like you said, we're now in the busy year, so she's pretty excited.
So she's going to crush the goal before the end of the year.
Well, we have it. It's a race to the purse. So like if you hit a certain goal, the store buys you a Louis Vuitton bag or Gucci, whichever your brand of choice is. So she got her bag.
I've seen those.
Is it a Louis? Did you get a Louis bag?
She's more of a Gucci girl.
Oh, okay.
Maybe Burberry.
Okay.
She's not really Louis.
No shade.
Is it Burberry or Burberry?
It's Burberry.
Burberry, got it. Okay, in jewelry department, Blake, our friend.
Oh, the service department.
The service department. I don't work there. Once again, I'm sorry. And also, if we don't mention you, I don't feed off your hatred. I don't know why I said that.
I think it's so rude. He's not
Service department, Blake. She, our friend Ty Sullivan. He's AKA our manager, AKA executive producer of this show. Never been here, but still has that title. Wants to help out with. She has great nails, and he always comments how great the nails
and
are.
great content.
And great content. Well, that's how he knows about her nails.
Yeah.
I don't think they just met.
She's
in person.
fantastic.
She's awesome. Tell me about her.
So she's a lady jeweler. I hired her for sales 2.5, 3 years ago. And after her first Christmas, she came to me and was like, I hate people. And I was like, okay, we can figure something out. What else can you do? And so she showed me some things that she had made jewelry wise, like costume or just little things. And I was like, I don't know, maybe. And then I looked at her TikTok and I was like, wait a minute. you could totally just film yourself doing cool stuff and put it on the internet, and people love that. And so she does a great job on everything. She's like really into like recycled materials. So she takes some of the gold that we buy like over the counter and turns it into new pieces, hand sets. Like, she's fabulous. If you just go watch her on Instagram, she'll do before and afters. She does some new, like some restoration work on inherited pieces or things that have been in the jewelry box for forever.
So we're going to put Blake's information in the description below so then I could follow and understand more about how cool this is.
Yeah.
It's like how it's made, but jewelry edition, and it's local. So
That's
it's really
awesome.
It's really
fascinating.
cool. And she's so passionate about it. And she's only been doing it for 2.5 years.
Yeah, she's good at what she does. And she recently did a piece for the family that invented the hand grenade drink in New Orleans on Bourbon Street, and turned it into like I think a necklace. Like, it's just, you got to go and see
really
it.
cool.
Links in the description below. So good. Okay, now this one's a special one. Peyton.
Oh, yeah. Peyton is like the heartbeat of Carter's. Like, she was in marketing for a little while, and now she does operations. So, like, we do a lot of special orders, customs, modifications, like, everything flows through her. And she's the one I'm training to do some of the buying. So I've always bought every piece that you see at Carter's by myself, but now we're working together to do that. So she actually does content also. She'll record herself like setting new engagement rings, picking diamonds. You can find her on the Instagram. But yeah, she's great. She's been there 5 years almost.
Wow.
Yeah, and she started right out of college. So she was marketing at Southern. We have 5 or 6 marketing majors from Southern. Really collect them.
That's awesome. Well, you have a great crew, and we're running out of time, so we got to get going. But so if people want to check your stuff out, then click the link in the description below. Follow Carter's on social. Visit your newfangled website. It looks great. And
and visit Columbia if you're at Experience Columbia.
Yeah. You got a whole thing going on over there for that.
Yeah, just a little pop-up.
Skate on the ice rink and do a triple axel gainer over the barrier, and then that's where you get to.
Everything's
They also
pink.
have like bumper cars on ice or something like that, I heard.
Yeah, so you don't fall and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's
They have
killer.
bumper cars on ice?
I heard they have a whole thing. It's a thing.
All right, well, this has been great. Totally professional. I mean, you did a great job.
Okay, good. So I just leave now?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Thanks for
no, stay there. Don't.
thanks for
leave.
letting us shoot here at the Ardor.
You're welcome.
Yeah. It's a cool space.
I love this building.
And everybody should check out that too and know that, hey, if you want to rent some space here.
Yeah, you can follow Ardor on Instagram. That's also how you book the venue. You can click the link in the description below to come see us live Wednesday, December 14th at 7 p.m. DJ Don King it's official now.
Ya boy.
It's not me just like saying he's going to do it.
Ya boy.
It's official. He's going to DJ our Christmas party. So we're going to film the interview portion of the show with 3 guests, Robert St. John, Chef Katie Dixon, Nelson Haskin. We're turning into a cooking show. And
then we're gonna party.
And then we're going to party with DJ Don King. So come hang out. You can click the link in our description. Go to Eventbrite, get tickets. And yeah, shout out to Honey Films, Peer Boom and them. They're going to really hook it up video-wise. It's about to be real. So thank you, Chae. Massive, can you play us out?
Yes.
That was the show. That was a show. Now you should know. Chae Carter from Carter's Jewelry. She's putting up with so much tomfoolery with her dog named Teddy. That's her dog. And now it's back to me. Yeah, it's time to go home so Chae can go somewhere and sell precious stones, precious metals, necklaces and rings, and all kinds of other things that Chae down at Carter's Jewelry. Check them out and pedal, or at Experience Columbia, and book a thing at the Ardor. Come, enjoy it. Yeah, it's live. Wednesday, December 14th. here too. 7 p.m. BYOB. Your boy DK will be here.